that is for you, for your situation, for your questions. As much as the heart is listening and is thirsty and is waiting to listen, believe me, the answer comes. It's not because of whoever is giving the sohbat, it's not because of me, it's because of Shareef Effendi, definitely. Because that much thirsty you are, that much they will give. If your hearts are sealed, if you have arrogance, if you have stubbornness, if you're saying, I've heard this before, why I have to listen to it again? I've heard people saying, oh, they're giving sohbat again. Again about the ego? Same thing. Never stop. Say something different. Talk about maqamats. Talk about stations. Talk about mystical stuff. At least make us interested. Ego. That is ego. 1400 years has never changed. And it will not change, inshallah rahman. Because the ego is our greatest enemy. Because the enemy inside is greater than the enemy outside. The enemy outside you can see, you know. It's there. You can protect yourself. But the enemy that is inside, it is pretending to be your friend, your best friend, the one who is so close to you, the one who looks out for your best interest. But he opens the door to all the enemies outside to come in. And so, we're asking Allah protection from our ego. As Holy Prophet ﷺ said, "O my Lord," Prophet, understanding, ﷺ is saying this, "O my Lord, do not leave me in the hands of my ego, even in the blink of an eye." Shaykh Effendi used to say this so many times. That means it is so dangerous, this ego, that if you blink, it will fool you. But the ego is hidden inside. It is very sneaky. It pretends to be your friend. Billions of Muslims don't even have any idea what the ego is. Nafs. Those who are not in Islam, not believing in spirituality, definitely they say there's no such thing as ego. Or ego is good. It is not your enemy. So many people entering into tariqat, and they put on those rose-tinted glasses. They see everything rosy and peachy, everything is full of love. They get a buzz, hippie kind. They want that feeling all the time, and they think this is it. This is what tasawwuf is. This is what Sufism is. But Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, "Do not leave me, O my Lord, into the hands of my ego, even in the blink of an eye." And the tariqat, when you enter into the dergahs, when you enter into the associations of the sheikhs, the awliya Allah, not us, the awliya Allah, they make you to understand what exactly is the ego according to you too. Yes, everyone has ego. Everyone's ego is the same, like that, but everyone also has specific things that they do. Principles are the same. The ego's principle is the same. The ego, everyone's ego, has the same belief. Their belief is that the ego is declaring itself Lord. That's it. Instead of saying La ilaha illallah, there is no God but God, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ego is saying there is no Lord except for me. That is its shahadat. And if you're not understanding the enemy from your inside during the time of Ramadan, as Holy Prophet say, then your fasting is just hunger and thirst. Your prayer is just getting tired. Because you will do things with your ego that will cancel out your fasting, that will cancel out your prayer. Especially if things that are concerning others. Yesterday a question was asked about the rights of others, and we say we can talk about it forever. We'll touch here and there in several sohbats. Especially if it concerns other people. Between you and Allah, it's between you and Allah. And Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, He may forgive. He is the most merciful. Didn't He say, my mercy overtakes, overpowers, encompasses my anger. Meaning that even the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is coming with a mercy. And if we are not understanding how we are trampling on the rights of others, we are in a very dangerous situation. Because Holy Prophet ﷺ, saying in the Hadith Qudsi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, do not come to my presence with these two sins. You may come with other sins, I will forgive, but do not enter into my presence with these two sins. One is declaring a shirk, that there are other lords. And that is what tariqat is doing, to take out the inner shirk, the hidden shirk away from us. And who commits a shirk? The ego commits a shirk. Ego is not saying there is another Lord. Ego is saying, I am the Lord. You understand? So, tariqat's concentrating on that, to take out the hidden shirk. But that is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say a man does not believe there is one Lord. Astaghfirullah, hasha. He believes in others, believes in so many things. That's between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah, He may do as He likes. He may forgive. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made so many reasons to forgive. Every night Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends to the first paradise, isn't it? Asking, who is awake to ask from me? Every single night. We're not talking about once a year. That's why the Turks, they are saying, treat every night like it is Laylatul Qadr. It is the night of power. And if you understand the power that comes through one night, any night outside of Ramadan, any of these nights that are not considered holy nights, Shaykh Effendi is saying, you will fall down dead understanding, if you understand the rahmat that Allah is sending. Because you cannot contain that, it is so much. Treat every night like it is Laylatul Qadr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us every night, calling to us, sending His angels. And the other part, that Holy Prophet ﷺ said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Hadith Qudsi, do not enter into my presence with the rights of others. With the rights of others. Allah will not forgive you. If you have done something wrong to someone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive you until you ask that one for forgiveness and that one forgives you. Don't think Judgment Day is going to be a day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to place His heavy justice on everyone. To ask, Allah is asking His rights on His creatures. Judgment Day will be a day when there's going to be so much confusion because the creatures are fighting with each other, asking for their rights from each other. That unbeliever is going to look at that believer and say, this one has taken something from me without my permission. I'm asking for my rights, Ya Rabbi. I want his faith. That time, yes, Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, Hazretleri Aisha radiallahu anha asked, because she said that time, the men and the women, they're going to be completely naked on the Day of Judgment. And she's saying, how is that possible? Without feeling shy. And Prophet ﷺ said, Ya Aisha, they will not even look at each other. They are so filled with dread and with worry and with fighting for each other. No one has any time to even look at each other because they're just so concerned and stressed out and worried and frightened and scared of what is going to happen. because everyone is going to ask for each other's rights. Yes, this is fitrah. Eid al-Fitr. And in some countries, the traditions is what? To ask each other for forgiveness. To ask each other for complete forgiveness, everything that they have done, openly or hiddenly. Everything that they have said. To make halal. Some cultures, they do it only in the month of Ramadan, especially in the Southeast Asia. And in the day of Eid, they would ask forgiveness from each other. The son to the father to the mother, everyone will ask for forgiveness. And they're going to say, I forgive you. And it's a very emotional, very cleansing time. Some cultures, they do it every day, not just one time a year. Like the Ottomans and the Turks, especially when they are leaving from each other. They are traveling or they have to go somewhere. They say, halal olsun. Make halal everything that I've done or said to you. There is a beautiful tradition, and it's a tradition that has been lost. And in the Osmanli Dergahi, Shaykh Effendi is teaching us every night when we make the sajda shukr, to ask Allah for forgiveness and to forgive everyone. And to ask Allah to turn their hearts for them to forgive us. So that we have fitrat, we have innocence and purity every night before you go to sleep. That time you become stronger. That time you start tasting and living your faith. That time, this heaviness of this world is not going to bother you. You just brush it off. You say, it's heavy. Yes, what can we do? If you don't, the smallest things will crush you. Everything is perfect, but because of a small thing someone said, because of something that someone did to you, or you remembering something, it will destroy everything. Your peace of mind, everything. So now, we must ask each other for forgiveness. We must not be keeping grudges. Those ones in authority, they have a responsibility now to warn, to speak tough. If possible, they're going to crush you. It is. Those who are not given that, it is not your responsibility to do that. If you start doing that, you will destroy so many things. And those who are given that responsibility, they run away from it because they understand it is very heavy. Until they cannot run away anymore and they have to do it. That time, sometimes people understand, sometimes people don't understand too. And they know that. But something is crushing, and until we say, it's going to continue to crush us. So we have to say. And we're watching. So this is the month of forgiveness. Freeing ourselves from hellfire. Understand what that means now. The last third is freedom from hellfire. And the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the words of the Prophet ﷺ should be written in gold. And its meaning is never ending. Its meaning is never ending. If on the day of judgment, people are going to be fighting with each other, asking for the rights of one glass of water. What's going to happen now? If there is no intercession. If there is no intercession from the prophets, from the saints, from the Quran will intercede. The month of Ramadan will intercede for you. So many things will intercede for you. Without the intercession, what's going to happen? We will put each other to hell. Finish. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put each other through hell. And that's exactly what is happening in this world, isn't it? We're putting each other to hell. This world, Allah did not create this world as a hell for us. But we turn this world into a hell for each other. So freedom from the hellfire. Have more Halim Salim in your heart. have more forgiveness in your heart. You know something is wrong. Someone did something, you say, I forgive. I'm not going to ask my rights now or in the day of judgment. You get very upset. Say it first with the tongue. Later it will descend to the heart. That time you'll be at peace. Because as much as you think people take away your rights, if you're busy with yourself, you know, number one, you deserve it. Because didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, anything that is good that is coming to you, know is coming from Allah. And anything that is bad, it is coming from your ego. So our ego did something and we deserve it. And then to say, Ya Rabbi, forgive me. And forgive them. Because maybe you did something too. Don't jump so much. Don't jump too much. Something happens to you, first take a break. And say first, I deserve this. That time, understanding will come. Some peace and blessing will come. People lose that. They lost that tradition too. They get upset, everything. They get sick, they get upset. They're well, but they have some pimples, they get upset. Yeah. Get upset with everything instead of saying, no. Ya Rabbi, I'm sick now. Inshallah, may this clean me from the sins that I've committed in my past. Make the intention. Easy, you will find yourself being clean that time. Because you're not blaming Allah, you're blaming yourself. La ilaha illa anta subhana in kuntu minaz zalimin. Never forget that prayer. I've done zulm to myself. And those who are not given the authority to be tough, don't. Because mankind falls into a zalim, zulm, when they do that. Because if you are not doing it for the sake of Allah and His Prophet ﷺ, like what we said before, the anger is without any mercy. If the anger is without any mercy, it becomes zulm, it becomes zalim, it becomes cruelty, it becomes oppression. Even with the anger, it has to have mercy. Because that is the characteristic of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, we learn all of these things. In yourself, for yourself, in the Dergah. You understand? Then, you stand and other people rub you this